And to talk more about the current atmosphere there in Argentina as the country prepares for these very historic and very important presidential elections, we turn to our correspondent, Leo Poletti Caduti. Leo, how determining is Macri's relationship with the U.S. Embassy? What other information have we learned about his relationship?
Cody, we know quite a bit about Mauricio Macri's relations with the US Embassy. Only a few years back did we learn of some WikiLeaks cables which shed the light on this exact topic. It was back in 2006 in a meeting Mauricio Macri had at the US Embassy here in Buenos Aires, where he went to the embassy and spoke to the ambassador, the US ambassador who was serving his post here at that time, and basically outlined what he and his party was all about. And we learned in that 2006 cable, thanks to WikiLeaks, that he said that the Pro Party, which he leads, is the first political force in 80 years of Argentine political history, or at least in the last 80 years in Argentine political history, which is truly pro-market and truly pro-business and with real conditions of taking power. In another meeting he had with the US Embassy, and we also learned this thanks to WikiLeaks, Macri asked the US Embassy, and it must be said on at least 5 different occasions, to harshly criticise in public the government of Cristina Fernandez to win voters. Apart from this, we know, or there is substantial evidence which indicates that Mauricio Macri and his right-wing pro-party has a vast relationship with big business, has a vast relationship with Washington, and really you just have to look back into Argentine political history to understand what the pro-party means and who it's come to take the post from. Many here in Argentina say the pro-party is a continuation of what was the brutal 1976 to 1983 civil military dictatorship, where a lot of sectors of corporations made huge profits and gained substantially from that brutal civil military dictatorship, which where 30,000 Argentines sadly perished. Now, the other question perhaps has to do with, has this made an impact on Argentine media? The answer to that is basically no. In these last few weeks, at least, of the campaign, these substantial pieces of evidence linking Macri to big business, linking Macri to Washington, have basically not appeared in the monopolised mainstream media, who have chosen to not talk about these very delicate issues. Cody.
Leo, very quickly, let's talk about the election specifically. We know a lot of Argentinians haven't even made their mind up, and we're also hearing talks about some people who have decided they will cast their voto en blanco, as it's called there. Explain to us those phenomenons going on there.
Cody, what really must be said before we do go on in relation to your question is that pollsters, opinion polls have been getting their facts pretty wrong in the last few elections, at least here in Argentina. So really what opinion pollsters are saying must be taken with a grain of salt. What we can say is that it is expected on Sunday, when the runoff election is held here in Argentina, that the turnout will be pretty big. It is expected that around 80% of the electorate will turn up to the different polling stations like Argentina. So the turnout is expected to be big. And in relation to this vote, or as it's called in Spanish or here in Argentina, votos en blanco, where to these opinion polls, they're talking that it'll be around 3 to 4% of the share of the votes that will be spoiled votes, votos. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens on Sunday. See how the spoiled votes affect the Argentine presidential runoff. So recapping, 80% of the electorate is expected to turn up for this very polarised poll on Sunday, just 48 hours away. Cody.
Well, we will be turning to you, Leo, as Sunday unfolds for more on those elections in Argentina. Leo, thank you.
Thank you, a pleasure.